Everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow. So when Jill asked me to share a bit of my testimony with you today, I thought to myself, now who wants to hear my testimony? Except Jill. She's the only one that likes to hear what I have to say. But thank you for allowing me to be here. And I pray that somehow through my sharing with you that you will be encouraged. I want to tell you that if God can save me, there's nobody that He cannot save. Those names on the board, they're taken care of. God's got them. So my story begins in Guyana. I was born in Guyana, South America. I'm the fourth child of 5. And before I begin, I want you to finish the stanza of this song. And I want you to sound good, okay? To God be the glory,
Great things He has done.
Good.
So loved He the world.
Just the stanza. So I want to remind you today that God is doing great things, okay? He has done great things. He's doing great things right now, and He's got a whole lot more coming for us, okay? Okay, so I was born in Guyana, South America. I'm the fourth of 5 children. My parents were hard workers. My mom was a nurse. My dad worked his way up in a car company. And, you know, life is good. Life is good. We're not wealthy, but we're comfortable. My mom was a Christian. There was no question that she was a Christian. She made sure that we went to church every day. My dad, I call him a CEO, Christmas, Easter only, right? If there's a special service, he's there. Before the altar call is given, he's out the back door. He did not make it a regular thing to come to church. But my mom made sure that we made it to church Sunday, all day Sunday, a little break in between, back at night. She was the choir director of our church. So if there was an Easter program or a Christmas program, or if, you know, the choir was singing, all of us went to sit in the church until everything was over. Sometimes we were a part of the service, sometimes we were not, but we sat there. We were not allowed to go outside and run around in the yard and make noise, so we just sat there with our little legs, you know, just going back and forth quietly. We sat there quietly until she was done. Actually, my 2 sisters and she kind of, I don't know how she talked us into it. She probably made us do it. But we were a trio, and we were called the Samuel sisters. So every once in a while we would sing. And, you know, little did I know that as I sat there as a little girl and as I grew up, those songs just kind of made a home in my heart and in my mind. The messages that I sat through, that if someone was looking at me, they would have thought she's not paying attention. I would be with my girlfriends and we would be, you know, making fun and giggling. Sometimes the older, you know, ladies in the church would come and sit between us, you know, to, keep us from talking, and, you know, giggled anyway. And, but little did I know that those things would, you know, the things of God would take root in my heart. As I got older, church became very unappealing to me. And I guess God also just seemed kind of boring. The church that we went to, maybe some of you are, you know, familiar with that type church. No earrings, no lipstick, no sleeve shirts, no pants, no short skirts, no movies, no dancing, no fun. No fun for a young person. Around this time, I'm now about 14, we have an opportunity to come to the U.S. My mom is a nurse, and there was a shortage in the U.S. of nurses, and she got a job. And of course, to move from a third world country to come to America, you know, my mom prayed, and the power of a praying mom. That is the title of my little talk today. So we got to come to the U.S., and my dad passed away quickly after we came here. And so now it's just my mom, you know, trying to make things work. And so here comes my freedom. Mom is not around, too much to keep an eye on things like she would like to. And so I'm pretty much free. I've graduated from high school. I'm now going to college in Manhattan, and I'm working and I'm studying and I'm just having a great time. I'm partying. I love music. I love to dance. And so I quickly got I love to go to clubs. My brothers and sisters, somehow it made it okay that we all went together, right? We would tell Mom, oh, we're all going out. And I know that my mom was not stupid, but somehow it made it okay. So we're out in the world just doing all kinds of things. But in the meantime, I would come home, and my mom always had the Christian radio station in the kitchen. And so I'm in the kitchen, eating breakfast or getting a drink, and I would hear these songs that used to play at church. Or I would hear a message, or I would hear a Bible reading, or I would hear something. And I would be convicted, but you just kind of turn and you just, keep going. We were having a good time. Okay, so by now I'm married. The story of how I met my husband and all that, that's for another time. But needless to say, 2 prodigals getting married is not good, right? So life gets interesting. Not the fairy tale that I thought that it would be. And I would call my mom every once in a while. Now my mom is in New York and we're in Pennsylvania. I would call my mom every once in a while, and she would always say, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. It's now the mid-90s. We've got 2 kids, and I'm working at the airport. And they're very strict about being on time for work. There's a system of attendance, and with life and partying and whatever, I was on the slippery slope into losing my job. And one night I stayed up late. I stayed up all night, just having a great time. And my alarm clock goes off, except that I haven't fallen asleep yet. And I've got to go to work. I had like a 5 o'clock shift. And I'm realizing that I'm going to lose my job if I don't go to work. And so I prayed. I said, dear Lord, if you would help me get to work and make it through the day. No drug test today. I can't take a drug test today. We had random drug testing. I will follow you. So I showered and I got dressed. And I drove to work. I made it through the day. Some guy said to me, are you okay? And I said, yeah. He said, would you like some soup? I love soup. I can drink soup in the middle of the summer. He said, would you like some soup? And I said, I would love some soup. And he got me some soup. And I made it back home. And I've never been the same. No walking up to the altar, none of it. And the power of a praying mom. The power of a praying mom. So a few days later, I called my mom. And I said, hey, Mom, guess what? And she said, you're pregnant again. And I said, no, Mom, better than that. Better than that. I said, I've rededicated my life to God. And of course, she was very, very excited. The power of a praying mom. So my brothers and sisters, what happened to them? My eldest brother ended up in Los Angeles living with a woman. And he came back to New York for a visit, went to my mom's church, and got saved. My older sister, went to a church in New York, and she got saved. My other sister went to my mom's church, and she got saved. My younger brother was in Omaha, Nebraska. He moved after his wife died. He visited a church, and he got saved. All 5 of us are saved. The power of a praying mom. It hasn't been easy since then. Many mess ups, many reasons to ask for forgiveness. But I've always been reminded and encouraged by God's word when it says, if God be for us, who can be against us? Hope is painful, and it can be painful to hope. But remember, according to God's word, we are confident that God is able to orchestrate. I love the word orchestrate. Have you ever been to an orchestra, Jill? Orchestrate everything to work towards something good and beautiful when we love Him and accept His invitation to live according to His plan. Could I have a tissue? Thank you. Thank you. That's good. So as I was laying in bed and I was thinking about this verse, we have an obligation, right? It says we are confident that God can do all of these things, but it says when we love Him and accept His invitation to live according to His plan. So even as we pray for our children and we do all that, we have an obligation, like Jill said and like many of you have said, that we have got to believe and know that God is sovereign and He is able. And I know in my own life at the airport, there's so many young girls that are so lost and disillusioned. And I have so many opportunities, to share a bit of my life. You've got to be careful who you share with and what you share. And I have opportunities, and they said to me, Miss Audrey, you never did that. No, not you. And I said, yes, I did. So I try to encourage them, God does not waste anything. And I never really understood that until, where I am now, that I can see that all of the messes and all of the sin, that God is somehow using it all for me to help, someone else. God's promises are not just for us, but they are for our children and for our children's children. And I'm also reminded of the verse of the time when Jesus multiplied the loaves and the fish. And He said to His disciples, gather the pieces and the leftovers that nothing is wasted. And that's a physical example of what we believe spiritually, right? That He's going to take all those pieces so that nothing is wasted. So what have I learned from my praying mom? I learned to pray. I love to pray. My mom didn't just pray. My mom prayed about everything. She's in the kitchen cooking and she's praying, dear Lord, please help this food to taste good. And I'm thinking, Mom, what are you doing? Guess what I'm doing? I'm in the kitchen and I'm praying, dear Lord, please, help me, to make this food taste good. And my husband comes home and he says, what do you call this meal? And I was like, it doesn't have a name, just eat it. And he usually says it's good, so it works. Prayer works even in the kitchen, right? So what have I learned? I've learned from my mom that prayer is powerful. When we pray, God works. And so I have surrounded myself with prayer partners. Jill is one of my prayer partners. Whenever we talk, we end up praying. I was at a function at a high school with my son when he was about to graduate, and I met a mom, and she was so concerned about her son, just like I was. And I said to her, I said, you know what, we should start praying. Let's make a commitment every day that we're going to pray for our children. And so this is the 3rd year that we call each other every day, as best as we can, every day. And we pray for our children. I carpool with a couple to work every day. And there's a certain point, we're talking, and we get to a certain point. The talking is done. We're praying. And we're praying for our children, we're praying for our grandkids, we're praying for our husbands. Prayer is amazing. And so, on God's word, I stand here today. And I am confident that if we are faithful in praying, God will hear and answer our prayers. His word says that He is not willing that any should perish. Any. And that includes our children. That includes those, our family members. So let's continue to be faithful and consistent, persistent in prayer. And just know that God is able to do immeasurably more than we can think or ask or imagine. It doesn't stop there. According to the power that lies within us. Thank you.